Have you ever looked into a newborn's eyes and wondered where they came from? Not just the physical journey from womb to world, but the deeper mystery of where that soul existed before it chose to inhabit that tiny body. It's a question that strikes at the very heart of existence itself. Yet most of us have never been given answers that truly satisfy the longing in our hearts to understand. What if I told you that before every birth, there's an elaborate spiritual journey that takes place across dimensions we can barely imagine? What if souls don't just randomly appear at conception, but instead undergo months or even years of careful preparation, planning, and selection before choosing their earthly circumstances? Edgar Cayce, the legendary mystic known as the Sleeping Prophet, spent over 4 decades channeling information from what he called the universal consciousness. Among his most profound revelations were his insights into the secret world that souls inhabit before birth. If you've ever wondered about the spiritual mechanics behind incarnation, this exploration will forever change how you view every child, every pregnancy, and perhaps even your own mysterious arrival on this earth. Make sure to subscribe if these deeper mysteries call to your soul, because we're about to uncover truths that have been hidden for far too long. According to Cayce's trance readings, the journey of an unborn soul begins long before conception in what he described as the Borderland, a mystical realm that exists between the purely spiritual dimensions and our physical world. This isn't a place of waiting in the conventional sense, but rather an active preparation ground where souls engage in the most important work they'll ever do, planning their next earthly incarnation with the precision of master architects. In reading 281-16, Cayce revealed that souls spend considerable time in this preparation phase, not as passive observers, but as active participants in designing their coming life experience. They review their past incarnations like students studying for the most important exam of their existence, examining every triumph and failure, every lesson learned, and every opportunity missed. But this review isn't conducted in isolation. Souls work closely with advanced spiritual beings who serve as counselors and guides, helping them identify the specific experiences they need for their continued evolution. The selection process, according to Cayce, is breathtakingly comprehensive. Souls examine potential family lines stretching back generations, studying the genetic patterns, karmic debts, and spiritual tendencies that run through bloodlines like invisible rivers. They consider geographical locations, understanding that different parts of the earth carry distinct vibrational frequencies that can either support or challenge their intended growth. Some souls are drawn to incarnate in places of natural beauty and harmony, while others deliberately choose locations marked by struggle and conflict, knowing that such challenges can accelerate spiritual development. Most remarkably, Cayce taught that souls can observe their intended parents to be for months or even years before making their final commitment. They study the character of these potential parents, their relationship dynamics, their spiritual readiness, and their capacity to provide the specific type of environment the soul requires for its growth. This observation isn't intrusive, but rather a loving assessment, like a wise teacher evaluating whether a particular classroom will serve a student's needs. In reading 262-125, Cayce described how souls might hover around families for extended periods, sometimes influencing events in subtle ways to create optimal conditions for their entry. They might inspire future parents to meet, encourage them to resolve relationship conflicts, or even guide them toward lifestyle changes that would better prepare them for the child's arrival. This explains those mysterious moments when couples suddenly feel ready for parenthood, or when single individuals experience an inexplicable urge to prepare for a family they don't yet have. But souls don't make these momentous decisions alone. One of Cayce's most beautiful teachings concerns soul groups, clusters of entities that have been traveling together through countless lifetimes, taking on different relationships to work through shared karma and accelerate their collective spiritual growth. These soul families, as he sometimes called them, plan their incarnations together with the coordination of a perfectly choreographed dance. A soul might choose to be born as a child to someone who was their parent in a previous life, or as a sibling to a former spouse, or even as a parent to someone who had once been their teacher. The relationships shift and change, but the core connections endure, guided by bonds of love that transcend time and space. In reading 3744-4, Cayce explained that these soul group members often communicate telepathically, while some are in the preparation realm and others are already incarnated. This might manifest as sudden insights about unknown children, prophetic dreams, or inexplicable feelings of anticipation in prospective parents who sense a soul drawing near. The planning process isn't always smooth or harmonious. Cayce revealed that souls sometimes experience what he called incarnation anxiety, a reluctance to leave the spiritual realm due to traumatic memories from past lives, or clear awareness of the challenges that await them in their planned incarnation. During these periods of hesitation, souls might approach the threshold of birth and withdraw multiple times, like travelers who pack and unpack their bags before a difficult journey. Some souls become so attached to the freedom and clarity of the preparation realm that they repeatedly postpone incarnation, requiring gentle encouragement from their guides and soul group members. Others rush into incarnation prematurely, drawn by powerful emotional attachments to specific individuals or circumstances, sometimes arriving before they've completed their full preparation. These rushed incarnations often result in souls who feel unprepared for earthly life, manifesting as individuals who seem perpetually confused about their purpose or direction. The most profound aspect of pre-birth planning involves what Cayce called soul contracts, detailed spiritual agreements made between entities before incarnation. These contracts, he taught, are far more comprehensive than most people could imagine, outlining not just major life themes, but specific relationships, experiences, and even challenges that will shape an entire lifetime. In the preparation realm, souls meet with beings Cayce referred to as the recording angels, entities responsible for maintaining what he called the Akashic records, the cosmic library containing the complete history of every soul's journey through time. Together with these record keepers, souls review their previous incarnations with the thoroughness of scientists examining data, identifying patterns that need resolution and lessons that remain unlearned. The soul then collaborates with other members of its group to design a life experience that will provide maximum opportunity for growth while serving the evolution of the entire group. This includes selecting not only parents and immediate family members, but also future spouses, children, mentors, friends, and even adversaries who will play crucial roles in the soul's development. Every significant relationship is planned with purpose, though the specific ways these relationships unfold depend on the free will choices made by all parties involved. Reading 1567-2 reveals that these pre-birth contracts are incredibly detailed, encompassing everything from the soul's physical appearance and natural talents to the approximate timing of major life events. However, Cayce always emphasized that these agreements include multiple paths and options, preserving free will while ensuring that essential lessons can be learned regardless of the specific choices made during incarnation. The most profound contracts, according to Cayce, involve what he termed sacrifice souls, entities that agree to incarnate with significant challenges or limitations in order to provide learning opportunities for others. These might be souls choosing to be born with physical disabilities, mental health conditions, or into extremely difficult family circumstances, all selected consciously to serve the greater good of their soul group. Far from being victims, these are among the most advanced souls, volunteering for the hardest assignments out of love for their spiritual family. Understanding this perspective transforms how we view every form of human suffering and limitation. The child born with autism may be a master teacher, providing lessons in patience and unconditional love. Every challenge from this viewpoint serves a larger spiritual purpose. The actual process of soul incarnation, according to Cayce, is far more complex than most people imagine. Contrary to popular belief, souls don't suddenly inhabit a body at a specific moment like a light switch being turned on. Instead, the process of incarnation is gradual and intricate, involving multiple stages of connection between the spiritual entity and the developing physical form. In reading 281-55, Cayce described how souls begin establishing connection with their chosen vessel during the early stages of pregnancy. But this initial contact is tentative and flexible. The soul might connect and disconnect multiple times, testing the compatibility between its spiritual essence and the developing body's vibrational frequency. It's like trying on clothes to ensure a proper fit, except the soul is determining whether this particular physical form can adequately serve its intended mission. This explains why some pregnancies feel different from others, why some women report sensing a strong presence early in pregnancy, while others don't feel that connection until much later. The soul's engagement level varies based on numerous factors, including its level of preparation, its eagerness or reluctance about incarnation, and the vibrational harmony between its essence and the developing body. Cayce revealed that the soul's full commitment to incarnation typically occurs during the second trimester of pregnancy, when the physical form has developed enough to accommodate the entity's energy, while still being malleable enough to adapt to its specific needs. However, the final anchoring doesn't happen until the moment of birth, or sometimes even slightly after. This explains why some children seem to take time to fully settle into their physical forms during their first months of life, appearing somewhat distant or otherworldly until they complete their integration process. The incarnation process is influenced by countless factors beyond the soul's own preparation. The emotional state of the parents plays a crucial role, as souls are drawn to harmonious environments and may hesitate to enter situations marked by severe conflict or emotional instability. The physical health of the developing fetus matters too, as souls need viable vessels to accomplish their earthly missions. Astrological influences at the time of conception and birth create energetic conditions that either support or challenge the soul's intended work. Even the collective consciousness of the community into which the soul is incarnating affects the process. Souls are more easily drawn to environments where their particular gifts and lessons will be welcomed and supported. This is why certain geographical areas seem to produce unusual numbers of individuals with similar talents or spiritual inclinations. Most intriguingly, Cayce taught that souls can change their minds about incarnation quite late in the pregnancy. When this happens, another soul from the same group might step in to take their place, or the pregnancy might end if no suitable replacement is available. This provides a spiritual perspective on some of the mysteries surrounding miscarriage and stillbirth. Throughout this entire complex process, souls are never alone. Cayce described a sophisticated hierarchy of spiritual beings who guide and assist entities as they navigate their journey toward incarnation. At the highest level are what he called the Lords of Karma, advanced souls who have completed their own cycle of earthly incarnations and now serve as cosmic administrators, ensuring that each soul's journey serves both individual growth and universal harmony. These beings work with something like divine mathematics, balancing individual needs with collective good, ensuring that the karmic debts and credits accumulated over lifetimes are addressed in ways that promote healing and growth rather than mere punishment. They understand the vast interconnectedness of all existence and help orchestrate incarnations that will create the greatest benefit for the greatest number of souls. Below the Lords of Karma are personal guides, entities who have chosen to dedicate themselves to helping specific souls or soul groups navigate their incarnations. These guides often include advanced souls from the same group who have completed their earthly lessons and now serve as mentors to those still learning. Cayce described how these guides help souls review their past life experiences, identify patterns that need healing, and select the optimal circumstances for their next incarnation. Perhaps most importantly, these guides help souls prepare for what Cayce called the forgetting, the necessary amnesia that occurs at birth. This forgetting isn't a cruel trick of nature, but rather a cosmic mercy that allows each incarnation to be a genuine test of spiritual growth, rather than simply an acting out of predetermined scripts. Without this veil of forgetting, souls would be overwhelmed by the weight of their accumulated experiences and unable to approach each lifetime with the fresh perspective necessary for authentic learning. However, the veil is intentionally permeable. Throughout life, souls receive glimpses of their true nature through dreams, meditation, moments of déjà vu, and sudden insights that seem to come from nowhere. Children, being closer to the spirit realm from which they recently came, often retain clearer memories of their pre-birth existence until social conditioning gradually obscures these recollections. Many parents report their young children speaking about life before birth, describing places they've never been, people they've never met, or events that happened before their birth. Cayce would have recognized these as authentic memories breaking through the veil, evidence that the soul's journey extends far beyond the boundaries of a single lifetime. In reading 136-18, Cayce described how some souls negotiate to retain more conscious awareness of their spiritual nature during incarnation. These are often souls who have incarnated specifically to serve as healers, teachers, or spiritual guides for others. However, this increased awareness comes with greater responsibility and often greater challenges, as these individuals must learn to function in the physical world while maintaining their connection to higher realms. Souls work with their guides to select optimal birth times that harmonize with astrological configurations, historical periods, and even seasonal energies that can assist in their development. Astrological influences at the time of birth don't determine destiny in Cayce's understanding, but rather provide supportive or challenging energetic conditions that can facilitate soul development. A soul might deliberately choose to be born during a difficult astrological period if it needs to develop courage and resilience, or during a harmonious period if its mission requires stability and peaceful conditions for creative or spiritual work. Historical timing proves equally important in soul planning. Entities often choose to incarnate during specific eras that will provide exactly the experiences they need for growth. Some souls are drawn to periods of great upheaval and change because such challenges can accelerate spiritual development, while others select relatively peaceful times to focus on inner development, artistic expression, or the cultivation of wisdom. Reading 254-68 describes how groups of souls sometimes plan mass incarnations during pivotal historical moments to collectively influence human evolution. These wave incarnations explain why certain periods seem to produce unusual numbers of exceptional individuals in specific fields. The Renaissance, the Enlightenment, and various spiritual awakening movements throughout history may represent coordinated efforts by soul groups to introduce new ideas and elevate human consciousness. The moment of birth itself represents one of the most sacred transitions in the cosmos, according to Cayce's understanding. This represents the final step in a soul's journey from the spirit realm into physical incarnation, and this transition is witnessed and assisted by spiritual beings who ensure the process unfolds according to the soul's highest good and divine plan. Cayce taught that the birthing process serves multiple spiritual functions beyond the obvious physical ones. The intensity of birth helps to seal the veil of forgetting while simultaneously activating the soul's full connection to its physical vessel. The first breath represents not just biological function, but the soul's formal acceptance of its earthly mission and its commitment to see the incarnation through to completion. The presence of love during birth, whether from parents, medical caregivers, or spiritual observers, creates an energetic welcome that helps the soul feel embraced and supported as it begins its earthly journey. Conversely, birth trauma or unwelcoming environments can create challenges that become part of the soul's learning experience, though Cayce always emphasized that no experience is ever wasted in the grand design of spiritual evolution. For those who have experienced pregnancy loss, Cayce's teachings offer profound comfort and understanding. These souls didn't fail or get lost, but rather made conscious decisions to return to the preparation realm for reasons known to their higher wisdom. Perhaps they discovered the physical form wasn't suitable for their mission, or maybe the timing wasn't optimal for their intended work. Sometimes souls enter briefly to provide specific lessons for their intended parents about love, loss, and the preciousness of life itself. These brief visits from souls leave lasting imprints on all who are touched by their presence, even if that presence was felt rather than seen. Many women report sensing the spiritual essence of children who were lost before birth, and Cayce would have recognized these experiences as genuine contact with souls who remain connected to their earth families even while residing in other realms. Understanding the secret journey of unborn souls transforms how we view every aspect of human existence. Each person we encounter has undergone this elaborate preparation, chosen their circumstances for spiritual reasons, and arrived here carrying within them the accumulated wisdom of countless lifetimes and a specific mission that serves both their own growth and the evolution of all consciousness. For parents, this knowledge brings both profound humility and sacred responsibility. Children aren't possessions or blank slates, but sovereign souls who have selected their parents as temporary guardians and teachers in their eternal journey. The challenges children present aren't random difficulties, but carefully chosen lessons designed to promote growth in all family members. For those struggling with their own life circumstances, Cayce's teachings offer a radically different perspective. Every challenge, every limitation, every difficult relationship was chosen before birth as an opportunity for spiritual advancement. This doesn't mean we should passively accept suffering, but rather that we can approach our difficulties with the understanding that they serve a higher purpose in our soul's evolution. The secret journey of unborn souls continues within each of us because we are all spiritual beings who successfully completed this incredible voyage from spirit to flesh. We carry within us the accumulated wisdom of ages past and the infinite potential for continued growth. Though we may not consciously remember our pre-birth planning, our souls retain the knowledge of our true purpose and will guide us toward its fulfillment if we learn to listen to the voice of our deepest wisdom. Every child born represents a victory of love over fear, of hope over despair, of the eternal over the temporary. They are emissaries from the realm of pure spirit, bringing with them exactly the gifts and lessons our world needs for its continued evolution toward greater love and understanding. In recognizing this truth, we honor not only the mystery of birth, but the magnificent journey that brought each of us here, and we prepare ourselves to assist others as they navigate their own sacred passages from the realm of spirit into the beautiful complexity of human existence.